Hi everybody, welcome to Flosstube number 56. I'm finally back. It seems like it has been forever since I've had a chance to get on and visit with you guys. I attempted to keep doing my floss tubes from the camper. And then I did a couple from inside the house as they were building it. And then for those of you that built houses, you just know people in and out, building, hammering, all kinds of noises. It just got too crazy. And it got really cold last winter. So I just kind of put everything on hold. And I've kept on designing and teaching and doing all kinds of things. But floss tubes just kind of went on the back burner. This last year has been a year full of changes for me and my family. We built our home. So, that meant moving out of our last one, which we loved, but we were so happy to get back out into the country, have a little more acreage, and it was the right move for us. But that was a challenge. We had to live in our camper until the house got finished, and oh my, I don't think I'm ever going to camp again. I told someone not long ago, I said, my idea of camping, the only kind of camping that I want to do from now on is if my hotel room faces the woods, I'm going to consider that camping. Or if the hotel does not offer room service, I'll consider that camping. But I think I did enough camping last year to do me for a lifetime. I'm pretty much done with it. So then we moved into the house last summer, and that's a process. We've never moved where we've had to store things for a while first. And so to be honest, it was like an Easter egg hunt or opening presents on Christmas morning. I had forgotten everything that we had. Even though I'd labeled the boxes, it was still like a surprise every box we opened. Or, we caught ourselves a couple weeks later saying, I know I had this, whatever the item was. I have no idea what box I packed it in. And so it was pretty much a summer-long process of unpacking, organizing, figuring out where everything needed to go. So that was a challenge as well. But we are now settled in finally and absolutely love our new space. But this fall, it came with lots of other new things. I have a new grandbaby. It's my first grandbaby. So I have a little grandson named Rhett. And we can't post on social media, but if you ever see me in person, ask me. I will be happy to show you pictures of my grandbaby. But he is absolutely, I think, the most precious thing ever. A lot of my friends that had grandbabies said, oh, there's nothing like being a grandmother. And I thought, I know I'm going to love him, but I'll love him like I would my children. But, oh my heavens, when I held that sweet boy, there really is nothing like being a grandmother. I have thoroughly enjoyed every moment that I've had to spend with him. And even though they're a good distance away from us in miles, my daughter-in-law is so sweet to post pictures regularly and send me pictures of him. And so I feel like I've got to share in his growing up a little bit. And they will be here this next week. So I'm beyond excited. I cannot wait to get a hold of that little fella. Then I've taught at several different places this fall. I taught a class at the Needles and Knots retreat in Provo. Had an amazing time. Such a sweet, sweet group of ladies. I just felt honored that I was able to share my love of samplers with them and get to know some of them. So I feel like I've got a whole new group of stitchy friends. I also went to Houston and taught at a guild down there. Had a great time. And then also had the opportunity, Mary Susan, my friend, and I hosted a retreat at Pleasant Hill Shaker Village this last end of October, first week in November, and had a beautiful, beautiful trip there. It was just when the leaves were all changing and such a pretty place to experience that in. So my life has really been busy this last year, but I've missed you guys, and I'm so excited to start coming back, hopefully, and get on a regular basis with my floss tubes again. I've accumulated a few more samplers that I can't wait to share with you and talk about, and so we're going to get started today with that. And my goal is to post a new video every Friday. Friday is the quietest day here in this house. My husband's home on the weekends, and The way the house is built, my stitching room here that I'm in is upstairs, but it's an open loft. So unless you guys want to hear Gunsmoke or Bonanza or something like that playing on the TV, Friday is my best option to post a video. So here we go. The first thing I want to show you, and you can find this on my Instagram page, or you can also find it on my Facebook page, but it's just a little freebie. I saw these paddles at Hobby Lobby, and I just thought they need something on them. And so if you're interested, they've got these. I'm sure they're 50% off now, but they're just a cute little wooden paddle, but they have this little snowflake kind of wood burned or something up in the top. So I just did a simple little freebie chart. Like I said, you can go on Instagram or my Facebook page, either one, to get the chart. And it just says snow, some snowflakes, some deer, a little poinsettia. And what I did was add this little mitten that also came from Hobby Lobby. And it's in like where they have their mini ornaments for the little bitty tiny trees. You can find a package of those there. And then the ribbon also is a Hobby Lobby ribbon. So it was a very quick, easy finish. And I'll have the information about it in the comments below the video here. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. If you want to do a quick Christmas stitch, it's not too late to get this one done. Very quick and very easy to do. And if you have trouble downloading it, just message me or email me and I can send it to you. The next thing I wanted to do today, before I get on to the sampler I can't wait to share, is show you I had 3 Christmas releases this year. And they're just kind of fun, quick, easy stitches. The first one, and I have misplaced one of the ornaments. You actually get a trio of ornaments. It's called Bristol Baubles. And I took some of the motifs from my Bristol that I have and stitched them on perforated paper and just made little ornaments out of them. So this is the first one. And this is the second one. Like I said, I've carried these with me. So the other one I've misplaced. I'm sure it's in a box that I just have misplaced. And then this is the second one. But in the Bristol Baubles, it is actually, you get 3. It's a trio. The next one I just titled Christmas Every Day because I love Christmas. That's one of my favorite holidays to decorate for. And my mother's the same way, so I came by honest. But for us, we would take Christmas every day if we could. But this is a quote that I took, Helen Steiner Rice. And it says, "Peace on earth will come to stay when we live Christmas every day." Because have you ever noticed when you're out shopping, unless it's Black Friday maybe, but people are friendlier. They seem to smile a little bit more. And so wouldn't it be nice if it was like that every single day? So maybe we need to pretend it's Christmas every single day. And on this little sample, I just took different motifs and things from other little antique samplers and kind of played with it and just did a little not a poinsettia, a little holly tree it looks like at the bottom. And this is my first time of using the Cottage Garden threads. And my LNS is Stitcher's Garden, and she got all of them in and said, "Have you done anything with these yet?" And I said, "No, but I will." And so I decided this would be a fun one to practice on. And I love how it turned out. Just that variegation just looked beautiful with the poinsettias and the other motifs as well. So if you've not tried the Cottage Garden threads, try them. They're just lots of fun to use because you get a different look. And the one thing about them that was a little different, but I really liked, it's already like a floss drop. If I want one thread, I can just pull one thread from how it's packaged. So that made it super nice. I mean, I don't have to prepare a floss drop. It's already made into one for me. So anyway, I did a little different finish. This is just a frame from Hobby Lobby, an 8x10. And then I put some ribbon, and I had these little holly buttons that I added to the corners to finish it off. So it's not like you would have to go and get it framed, have an expensive frame cost. You can just go get you an 8x10, frame it yourself. Super easy. So Christmas Every Day. That was the second release that I did. And then this one fits me to a T. It's called Never Too Early. And that's because I cannot wait to put up my Christmas tree. My husband teases me every year. He's like, are you really putting it up this early? Yep. It's going up as soon as Halloween is done. I'm putting my tree up. And another friend said, well, what about Thanksgiving? I said, Santa Claus brings our turkey. So I can have Christmas and Santa all at the same time, and the turkey. So we're not leaving Thanksgiving out. We're very thankful, and I'm thankful to be able to decorate early if I want to. So that's how I'm tying it in. But anyway, all the trees on this are just different trees from different old samplers. And so you can see there's just a variety of different trees that I added. And then the little saying, it's never too early to put up the tree. Because in my opinion, it's not. I thoroughly enjoy it. And I don't know about you guys, but hauling all the boxes out, getting everything unpacked and decorated and put up is work. It's kind of a chore. So I don't want to put it up and then take it right down. I want to really be able to enjoy it. One of my favorite times of the day is in the evening when everybody's gone to bed but me, because I'm the night owl of the group. And I have just the Christmas tree lights on, and maybe some Christmas music or a Hallmark Christmas movie on, and being able to sit there and just enjoy the tree and the decorations is just a favorite part of and time of the year for me. Now, I will probably have my stitching lamp on because I'm usually stitching late at night too. But it's fun to have the tree up and just enjoy the atmosphere. So I wanted to share those with you real quick. Those are the Christmas ones that I did this year. And it was fun to kind of come up with some of those designs. Now I want to talk to you about this next sampler. And it's kind of a big girl, so I'm going to hold her up and let you look at it really quick. And then I'll put it down and just kind of talk to you a little bit about it. Lots of pretty colors. I will say, I'm not really sure about this. So if any of you have any idea what you think this might be, I looked at it as like maybe a pagoda or a little altar of some sort or a building. I have no idea really what that is. And so if you have any ideas, let me know what you think. And then it's really faded at the bottom, but I'll tell you what that says. This is just one of two samplers. I purchased them together. They were sold as a pair, and that's because they were stitched by sisters. Now I'm showing you Eliza's sampler today, and next week, next Friday, I will show you her sister's, and we'll compare the two. There are ways that they're very similar, and there are some ways that they're different, which I love. When you look and compare, and we'll talk more about that next week when I introduce the second sister sampler, you can see some of the motifs and design I think was used from her sister's sampler. Now, Eliza was the younger of the two sisters. Her sister was 7 years older than her. So I think her sister used her sampler that she did to teach Eliza her needlework. But Eliza was 12 years old when she stitched this sampler, and it was stitched in, let me make sure I'm looking here and I don't tell you wrong, 1854 was when the sampler was completed. And so I started trying to research, and I still have a bit more digging to do to make sure I have the correct Eliza. But one thing that's helping me in my research is that I do know Eliza's sister's name. And so Mary Ann. And so if I can find an Eliza that has a sibling, Mary Ann, that's a pretty big hint that I'm onto the right Eliza. And I think I have found her. I knew this came from England, but as I started researching to try and find the Eliza, I found one that was born in Wiltshire, England. And so at the time Eliza was born, her father was in his early 50s, and her mother was in her 40s. Her father's name was William, and her mother's name was also Mary. And so that's probably why they gave her sister, Mary Ann, which is the other sampler, her mother's name, because she was the older of the two girls. I really do feel, and like I said, I'll show you next Friday, that Mary Ann's sampler was a teaching piece. It's a little more elaborate than Eliza's sampler, although I think Eliza did a beautiful job. I've not looked at the back, so I can't tell you how her back looks, but from the front, she did some very neat work. So I think she did a good job. Mary Ann was probably a good teacher, and I think the girls were probably close. One thing I want to point out that is different on Eliza's sampler is her verse. And you guys know I love the verses on samplers. That's part of the reason I have violets and verses for my name. But you see this verse in the middle. It just says, the eyes of the Lord are in every place. And then it's like, I consider this like a pause. Sin not. And she pauses again. I saw this, and that's the first thing that caught my attention. Not the fact that it was two samplers by sisters. I think that's really cool too. But the first thing that caught my attention was this verse. The eyes of the Lord are in every place. Sin not. And I'll tell you why. When my boys first started going out on their own, they were able to drive, and I wasn't taking them and their friends and dropping them off somewhere to see a movie or whatever. They were getting in their vehicle, and they were going to be out on a date, or they were going to go out with all their group of friends and hang out. As a parent, that's kind of scary because you think, I've taught them what they should do and should not do. I hope they remember and listen to me. So I got to the point where before the boys would leave the house, I would say, okay, have fun. Remember, I may not be there to keep an eye on you, but the Lord sees all. And I had hoped that would put enough fear in them to, if they got tempted to act up a little bit, they would know the Lord sees all. They'd hear their mother's voice telling them that. So when I saw this, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, I thought, oh my heavens, that's just about the exact same thing I told my boys when they would go out on their own by themselves. So I had to have it. And then the second thing was, it was by two sisters. So that just made it extra special. But this one is particularly, I'm fond of just because of that verse. I love the verse. So anyway, this sampler, she used some bright colors. The stitch count's like 250 something up and down, and just barely over 200 across. So it looks a whole lot bigger here just because of the count of the fabric. I will probably stitch the model on 36 count, so it won't be quite this big, but I'm anxious to get started on it. This will be a market release this next year, this one and her sister sampler. I'm trying to decide if I want to offer both samplers in one chart, or if I want to release one of them at market and then the second one maybe release it a little bit later in the summer. So I'm just trying to think about it. So if you have any thoughts on that, what would you like, or what would you enjoy the most? Having them both together, or kind of separating them out just a little bit? So let me know in the comments if you have an idea about that. But I'm looking forward to stitching on that particular sampler and learning a little bit more about Eliza. I will give you a little tidbit because I get asked this question quite often. How do you know if you have found the correct person or the correct stitcher when you're doing your research? And sometimes it's tricky. Sometimes I really don't know. And I don't think I can ever say with 100% certainty unless it's like a family heirloom. And so I know it's been passed down from one family member to another. Sometimes there's always that little fraction of, I'm not for sure. But with this sampler, I feel pretty certain that I have found her because of the sibling, the name of the sibling. Also, here was my second really strong clue. I found a census that had been done in 1851, and it gave Mary Ann's name as a daughter. And at the time the census was done, she was 23. and it listed Eliza as a sibling. And at the time the census was done, Eliza was 10. And so this sampler was completed in 1854, just 3 years later. And so Eliza put that she was age 12 when the sampler was completed. So I think that could match up. She was probably 12 when she started the sampler, maybe, or the way her birthday fell in those years. It kind of makes sense. The dates kind of match up along with the names. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable knowing that that's probably my Eliza and Mary Ann. I've got to dig a little bit more and see if I can find any more information out about the two girls, though. But I do think, Mary Ann was probably Eliza's older sister, that it was her responsibility. Mom probably said, you need to work with your sister, pull your sampler out, because the sampler that Mary Ann did, as you'll see Friday, looks very similar. And Mary Ann stitched her sampler when she was 10 years old. And so, I can just hear Mom saying, pull your sampler out. And, you did it when you were close to Eliza's age, and see if you can help her get one done. And I think that's what they did, because the colors are very similar in the samplers. Lots of the motifs are very similar. So I really think Mary Ann's sampler was used as a teaching piece. And this sampler that I have of Eliza's was her rendition, I guess, of what her sister had done many years before. So anyway, I just wanted to come to you today and share that, and just say I am so glad to be back, and thank those of you that have not unsubscribed in the last year and have stuck around thinking, surely she'll get back on here someday, because I am back and I cannot wait to share more with you. This next Friday, I will share Mary Ann's sampler, the other sister sampler, and we'll kind of get in a little more in depth, digging into the comparing the two samplers, seeing ways they're alike and ways that they're different. But anyway, I will let you go, and I'll post sometime this week. I've had several people message me and say, when do we get to see your house? Well, it's all decked out for Christmas now. So my plan is to do a video this week, and it will just be an extra in addition to my Flosstube. I'll post it and give you a Christmas tour of the house sometime this week. I can't promise what day, but I will get it posted between now and next Friday. So you guys take care. Have a wonderful week, and happy stitching. Bye.